More than a dozen Labour MPs are calling on ministers to consider a 4-day working week. They say it's the future.
Yes, one MP says artificial intelligence means we can get through more work in less time. But with a growing number of firms dropping working from home, is a 4-day week really the way forward? Joining us to debate this, business owner Trey Lowe, who thinks it's good. It's a good idea. It gives a better work-life balance. Former Conservative advisor Charlie Rowley says a 4-day working week will not help productivity. Right, Trey, you've got 5 full working days in the week. You put one of your staff onto a 4-day, or all your staff onto a 4-day working week, you've got a day when there's no work being done.
It's all about productivity. If they're just as productive in that time, that's all that matters. You know, if they can get all the work done in that space of time, then you're all the better for it. I mean, a lot of people spend a lot of time in meetings and lots of non-productive stuff whilst they're actually in the office. Why not give them a better work-life balance, time to spend time with their pet, with their family, etc., and they're going to be happier, healthier workforce.
Charlie,
Simple as that.
The same question to you. If you're a teacher and you're put on... Who teaches the children on the 5th day?
Well, exactly. I mean, I can't stand my family, so I tend to work as much as I possibly can to get away from them.
You want a 7-day working week?
7 days, 8-day week. But I think, look, the productivity point is an interesting one, because you'd be challenged. My challenge then to business is to say, well, don't just reduce that day to get the same level of productivity. What are you doing wrong that means that you're not getting the productivity out of 5 working days? People can work from home. I understand the flexibility of working to allow people to do maybe childcare or do things that they can't do in an office, and people sometimes are more productive at home. But losing a whole day's work out of a working week, I think, is a backward step.
No, I don't. I think it's a forward step, because if you think about the cost to the NHS in terms of people burning out, etc., it's much better to have people
but I think that's
spend time with their family, be happier and more productive as a result. If they're getting the work done, then what's the problem with that?
But I think, look, you know, we're constantly told that, you know, we've got backlogs in the court service, we've got backlogs in the NHS, our roads and railways don't work, you know, we've got more rubbish that needs to be collected. The idea that public services, and it will be people in that middle sector, it won't be the hard-working people at the very bottom, people that work all ends, maybe 2 or 3 jobs that need the money to have a sustainable income. It's those middle-class sort of people in the middle that think, well, we can just work 4 days out of...
You know, it wasn't long ago. I think it was 1932 went from a 6-day working week to a 5-day working week. It didn't have no impact on productivity, did it? Who's to say that we should have this arbitrary 5-day working week when 4 days we could do the same amount of job? Everything could change.
We know that businesses are currently saying there are too many pressures on us. We've got employers' national insurance going up. We've got minimum wage going up, quite legitimately, but it increases the cost on business. And now you're saying that I'm going to have fewer workers doing days' work, which means I've got an extra day I need to cover. It's going to be an extra cost.
Well, it's not something that the government is talking about forcing on people. It's going to be an option that they have to then consider.
No. They're talking here about legislating. It's legislation to say that everybody works a 4-day week. I'm afraid, as a business owner, it's not your choice. It's going to be mandated. It's got to be.
But if people are more productive in that time, you'd actually make more money, potentially be able to hire someone in that time.
Why don't you do it anyway?
But
they don't. That's the problem. So there is no work-life balance, which is why so many of the major world economies are looking at this 4-day work week, because of the issues with burnout, etc. It's a good thing.
But the work-life balance, again, it comes down to people who might be quite comfortable in office kind of jobs. There are people at the very bottom or people at the very top that are working 7 days a week, or people that are freelancers that are just trying to do 2 or 3 jobs. You know, there's no support necessarily for them. So I think, look, when people are taxed more, when there's more borrowing, when you've got to fund public services, but when people are getting more, or paying more, but seem to be getting less, I think working 1 day less, people would be
I think we have to wait and see whether people are more productive. I suspect they will be a lot more productive working this way. And if we've already gone from 6 days to 5 days, who's to say we can't go from 5 to 4? I also think schools should also be 4 days a week.
Well, I think that's ridiculous. I mean, you can't get what you want. I mean, look, you know, I want to win the lottery. I want to go on holiday.
Yeah,
I want to be stuck in the lift. I want to be stuck in the lift with the England rugby team. It's not going to happen because, you know, these things don't work.
I think it will.
Don't you think, Trey, just on this, MPs saying artificial intelligence can fill in the gaps, that's a slippery slope, isn't it?
It is a slippery
Because aren't
slope.
we all eventually going to be replaced by artificial intelligence?
Potentially, but, you know, people said that when lots of technological innovations came in, and here we are, when the internet came, people spoke about the same things. We have a way that we'll always adapt. You know, AI is only going to help what we're doing rather than replace us necessarily. We're continually going to adapt.
OK.
And we're going to have an extra day in order to reskill ourselves.
Put it to the viewers, is it time to introduce a 4-day working week for all? Well, almost 60% of you said, bring on a 4-day working week. Let's get rid of the 5th working day. They'll be fully backing these 12 Labour MPs who are lobbying Angela Rayner. And we'll see what happens. Thank you both very much indeed for coming in.